Hi everyone, my name is Patience Noah and I am your insurance interpreter, and welcome to Insurance Talk, where we're providing consumers with knowledge to make informed decisions about their personal insurance needs. As always, my goal is to bring industry experts who will educate you about the industry and provide you with general insurance knowledge so that you can be proactive with your insurance policies and maximize your coverages. As you all know, enrollment season is around the corner. So to help us ask the right questions, I have with me today Ms. Crystal Kelly. Crystal is a health insurance benefit consultant, and she has been in the industry for over 14 years. After the break, we will have her introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about herself. She actually has a lot going on, so she's going to tell us about herself. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, my name is Patience Noah and I am your insurance interpreter, and welcome to Insurance Talk, where we're providing consumers with knowledge to make informed decisions about their personal insurance needs. Have you ever read your insurance policies and wondered what on earth you were reading? Or how about this one? Have you ever called your insurance agent or your insurance provider and hung up out of frustration because you simply couldn't understand insurance language? That's right. Insurance has its own language, and the truth is, not everybody understands it. Just like you, before I became an insurance professional, I struggled with reading my policies and understanding the coverages that were being provided to me. Join me as we dissect the insurance language and the industry as a whole to help you ask the right questions you need when purchasing your personal insurance products. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and leave me a comment about topics you would like to see on the show. It's about time we break the barrier between policyholders and insurance providers.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Hello everyone, welcome back, and I am sitting here with Miss Crystal Kelly. So Crystal, welcome to Insurance Talk. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found yourself in the insurance industry.
Okay, so I am a graduate of Norfolk State University, and I was born and raised in Connecticut, so it's impossible not to work in insurance and live in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. So, but I was a very determined person that I was not going to work in insurance when I graduated, but fortunately, insurance is exactly where I ended up. I say fortunately because when I graduated, I worked for a large national insurance carrier, and they were eliminating departments at the time, mm-hmm. and my department actually got eliminated. And I was standing in line for coffee one day, and one of the gentlemen was talking to his colleagues, and he stated, we're looking for someone in marketing and communications, and my undergrad degree is in marketing and communications. Okay. So I just interrupted their conversation, and I was like, I can do marketing, I can do communications. And so, that could have been a very awkward moment for most, but for me, I saw it as, one door closing and another door opening. And after conversations, the gentleman ended up becoming my mentor, and I did get hired for the position because he was impressed by the way that I, went after the position. Plus, I expressed to him, I want to use what I went to school for, but I didn't want to be in the insurance industry. And he pointed out to me, what if I can show you how you can use your degree and work in insurance and, work in the corporate world and advance your career. So I took him up on it, and 14 years later, I'm still in the insurance industry.
Yeah. And actually, so what you do as a benefits consultant, so you're sort of combine your skills that you have from your marketing and communication with the insurance aspect. So just go a little bit into details, like how you merge those two when it comes to your everyday life.
Okay, so for like my everyday life, I would say I wouldn't say that I use insurance so much as my everyday life, but I think my background and passionately my drive for helping other people, that comes in my everyday life. And I say that because I have a large family and I have a large older generation in my family, and so I point that out because a lot of them don't understand insurance. And a lot of the changes that are going on, they come from the baby boomer era where, you know, it was natural instinct to run to the emergency room every time someone got sick, even if it was a stomach ache or a cold. Also, they come from, you know, maybe either not having insurance or, you know, having the state pay for insurance. So the cost was never a problem. So every day I am being faced with different questions maybe and from different people. So that's how I use my profession in the insurance industry, my professional background in my everyday life.
Okay. So you actually do a lot outside of insurance. So
Yes.
you have an organization called Power of Your Purse.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your organization before we go into the insurance stuff. You
Okay.
know, I want people to know a little bit about what you do because it's amazing what you're doing.
Thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
tell us a little bit about
So-
Power of Your Purse.
Yes. So Power of Your Purse. Power of Your Purse is a women's empowerment platform. And I founded this organization as a platform in a way to bring women together.
Okay.
My mission and my goal for Power of Your Purse is to empower, motivate, educate, inspire, and congratulate other women for their successes, for their stories. I also wanted to just build online media, networking events, workshops. I wanted to build these platforms or these avenues as a way of bringing women together to start talking to each other and to start sharing their knowledge about different things with each other. Knowledge is power, so that's where the power comes in.
Right,
And the
it
purse is because a lot of times we get judged for the outside. And it's not about what's on the outside, it's truly about what's on the inside. We as women, we're very resilient, but we carry a lot. You know, we carry our children, and we're nurturers, and we're wives, and we're mothers, and we're workers and providers. We do a lot, and we do it all looking good, I might say. So that's where the term Power of Your Purse is, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear from everyday women that are breaking barriers and give them a platform for their voice to be heard.
That's good. That's wonderful. And actually, so now let's go back into insurance.
Okay.
So benefit season is basically around the corner, and pretty soon people will be signing up for their health insurance policies, or they will be renewing their current policies.
Yes.
So when this time comes around, what do you think? What would you say that people fail to get a better understanding of?
So that's a good question. People fail to understand the cost behind insurance. And what I mean by that is not how much they have to pay for it out of maybe a payroll deduction, which is also called a premium.
Right.
But people fail to understand the cost, like how much it costs to actually go to the doctor or to go to the emergency room, or to go to the urgent care versus the emergency room. And I think that with all of the changes in health plans and how much they vary, a lot of time the focus is put on the premium, their payroll deduction, and it's not concentrated on the actual plan details, like the actual cost. Like, how much is it going to cost me when I get sick, if I need to call the ambulance, or I need to stay in the hospital because I have a surgery? Those are the things I think a lot of people, both younger and older, are struggling with.
Okay. So basically what you're trying to say is when people are signing up, they need to make sure, don't just look at, what's coming out of your pocket monthly, because even though you have the monthly amount coming from your pocket, there's still things that costs that are associated with it. Like, for example, right, if you have to go to the emergency room, probably cost you $10,000 to go to the emergency room. And that's something that comes along with your regular copay, and which we're going to go into a little bit later. But some people don't consider these things, and you have people, especially with the changes, obviously we have a new government, we have a new government.
Let's keep this conversation clean, shall we?
So things are a little bit different. So people don't consider these things. And then once they enter that policy, and then at the end people start to complain about, I never knew this, or this was not explained to me correctly. So what advice would you give them? Like, when you're signing up, like, what questions should you be asking before you make sure? Like,
that's a great question. So I tend to, when I go out and I talk to employees during open enrollment time, and what I tend to always use as an example is, you treat it like you're going shopping.
Okay.
You will never just walk into a store and grab everything off the shelf and go to the register and just give them your card and say swipe it and leave out the door.
Which I'm guilty of. I feel like that's how I shop for health insurance. If you're
amongst the privileged and you can do that, then this conversation is not for you. But if you are like me, I'm a savvy shopper, I'm a coupon queen, and I ask a lot of questions. So when it comes to insurance, I advise people to do the same. Treat it as if you're shopping, because you are the consumer for your health care. So a lot of times your employer, even the state benefits, they have what they're called the marketplace. They have a plethora of choices between plans. That's like you have a plethora of stores. Everything from Nordstrom's down to Kmart. So it's, you have the option to go in, look at tags, you see if it's the right fit for you, if it's your favorite color, or if it's in the color that's going to make you feel good for the day. You need to treat your insurance the same way. Is this the right plan for me and my family? Is it the right fit? Is it the right cost? You need to really look at the options that are given to you and ask questions. Ask your HR person or the benefits representative questions about the plans that are being offered. And if you ever don't understand something, it could be down to the simplest of things, like what is a deductible, what is a copay, what is coinsurance. Never be ashamed to ask questions, because at the end of the day, they're going to send the bill to you without question.
Exactly. And you have to pay. And speaking of copay, one of the things, and this actually happened to me the other day, and I was pretty upset. So one of the things that I've noticed is that so you have your regular copay, right? But then when you go visit the doctor, and then another bill is being sent to you for another copay. So can you sort of clarify that, being, that you're, behind the scenes and what goes on within that? Please let me know so I could have some rest, because I was very...
I don't know how at ease I'm going to put your mind, but there is a difference. Okay, so... that question is it could really be in depth, but the high level version of it is every plan is different. Okay. And a lot of the plans that are offered to people now are what we call high deductible plans. Okay. And high deductible plans can come with a health savings account or a health reimbursement account. Those type of accounts can go with a high deductible plan.
Okay.
And I say can because it's not necessarily that they have to be tied to those accounts, but it can. So a high deductible can either be tied to copay, which is a straight dollar amount. Copay, you may have a $25 or $30 or $40 copay. So you're going to go in and you're going to pay that copay and that's it.
Okay.
And or it could be tied to coinsurance. Coinsurance is a percentage share. So it's a cost share where your company, where their insurance carrier will pay a portion, like 90%, and then you're left with 10%. Now, if you have a high deductible plan, copays or coinsurance don't kick in until your deductible has been met. So, for example, if you have $1,000 high deductible and you go to the doctor because you had a sick visit, let's say your stomach hurt and you've been having migraines, and you go into the doctor and you go home, they sent you a bill. The bill is $400. And you said, well, I thought I had insurance.
Right.
What happened?
Right.
Well, that's because they are sending you a bill based on their contracted rate with the insurance carrier.
Okay.
And you are getting taxed the member responsibility. So after that discounted contracted rate that they have contracted with the insurance carrier is paid, they're gonna send you the balance. So you're responsible for that balance up until the deductible amount of $1,000. So in that example, you have to pay $400 and you have $600 of your deductible that you have left to pay. Once you pay that deductible, then your cost share comes in. So if you go to the doctor again after your deductible has been met, if you have copays tied to your account, then you may have a doctor's visit may only cost you $25. So if you go to your primary care physician or PCP, so you'll go to your primary care because you got sick, and then they may say, okay, well, you have a $25 copay, so you have to pay that at time of service.
Okay.
So that's where the variances could come in, because it depends on the plan that you have. And that's what I stressed in the beginning of asking questions and reading through your options and really shopping for that insurance. Because if I have a deductible that I have to meet, I want to make sure that it's going to be something that I can afford to pay out of pocket before my actual insurance plan kicks in.
Got it.
You know?
Okay.
So that's a great example that you gave.
I guess that makes sense a little bit.
Well, I'm here to try to help.
That makes sense. No, I guess, I get it. I get it now. No, seriously, because I was really upset when I got that extra bill in the mail. But anyways, okay, so you mentioned something about health savings, right? And this is something that has been introduced over the years. I actually do have one. So I'm not sure if everybody out there is aware of the health savings. And I know you and I, we've spoken about this offline.
Right.
So can you give us the different types of accounts that are out there, and what are the pros and cons of having those accounts?
Yes. Okay. So again, this is a huge topic.
Right.
But I will concentrate
give
on
us
right. I will concentrate on just the health savings account,
Okay.
Because that is the trend nowadays, and those are the plans that are being mostly offered through employers. And so a health savings account is just what it says. It is tied to a high deductible health plan. You cannot have a health savings account without having a high deductible health plan.
Okay.
It is governed by the IRS, so it is a federally governed benefit, and it is there to help us become more aware of the cost of healthcare, and also give an avenue as a way to save for the cost of healthcare. So you said pros and cons. Cons are health savings accounts, the funds that are that you contribute to the health savings account has to accumulate over time, versus maybe a flexible spending account where the funds are available day one. And then, you use it for expenses, healthcare expenses, or dependent care. But health savings accounts, so if you're planning a surgery, or if you have a surgery planned or something like that, and you just started with a health savings account, your account may be zero, or may have just what you contributed, or sometimes employers will put money into your account, but you don't really have enough to cover the surgery. So to the pros, because there are more pros than there are cons. So if you are in that type of situation where you don't have the money accumulated in your health savings account, and you have a procedure, or you get sick and you need to go to the doctor and you need to pay for it, you can always pay out of your pocket and then reimburse yourself from your health savings account once the money has accumulated. Another pro with the health savings account is the money that is put in there is pre-taxed. So, and it's tax-free. So the only way that you will get taxed on this money that's in this savings account is if you withdraw it and use it for items that are not deemed as a qualified health expense, medical expense. But you can, another pro, you can save, that money is your money. It's not tied to your place of employment. So if you leave your place of employment, the money goes with you. And you can save and contribute into the account all the way up until the time you retire. Also, you can use it for out-of-pocket medical expenses, out-of-pocket dental expenses, and out-of-pocket vision expenses.
Speaking of vision, when I actually got my glasses, I had an extra cost that came with it, obviously, after the insurance company did, their part. So I took the money out of my health savings account to pay for my glasses. So it was used as as part of my copay too. So those are some of the great benefits. I'm sure there are other great benefits out there. So continue.
And pharmacy, you can pay for your prescription drugs. There are certain, you can't use them for over-the-counter medications anymore, but there are certain things that you can purchase. One of the sites that I like to reference is F as in Frank, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, store.com, FSAstore.com. And it was built because FSAs were around first. So a lot of people are familiar with the flexible spending account, and there's the flexible spending accounts for healthcare, independent care. But the same qualified medical expenses that you can spend your monies on for FSA, you can for HSA as well. So if you go to this site, FSAstore.com, you will see on there just a host of items that you can purchase using your HSA dollars. It is an actual bank account.
So HSA as in health savings account.
Health savings account.
Just so people can understand that.
Yes, that's a good thing to know. And a good thing to know is you can't have a health savings account and a health FSA, flexible spending account, together. So they don't come together. You can have what they call a limited purpose FSA, which helps to pay for dental and vision only, but not a health FSA and a health savings account, HSA, together. But I mean, you really don't need, if you have a health savings account, you really don't need to have both. So it's more pros than there are cons. And again, I just encourage people to really ask about it and find out about it and see what plans work best, because health savings account, they're not going away. And every year the contribution amount that you could put in as an individual or family changes, and it's gone up. And I know for 2018, an individual can contribute up to up to $3,450, and a family can contribute up to $6,900 for the year.
Okay.
Now, it's not use it or lose it.
Right.
So if you contribute,
carry it over.
It just keeps building and building and building.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. And actually, one of the things, and once again, I'm guilty of this. So what would you say is the difference between HMO and PPO?
Okay. Differences is your stores have changed.
There's a lot of illiterate people out there when it comes to, health insurance. Even though I'm in the insurance industry, I still don't know the health insurance sides of it.
Listen, you could be in this industry. Our president doesn't understand this industry, so I wouldn't have people feeling ashamed if you don't know, because there's intricacies with healthcare, because our system is just so broken. Mm-hmm. So there's just so many intricacies that don't play together well. Right. So that's why I really admire you for having this show, because people like you and I can come together to ask these questions and get an understanding at a high level of questions that they just may be asking or too afraid to ask, that they can tune in and say, you know what, I was thinking the same thing. Right. So to answer your question, HMO versus PPO. HMOs they're going away pretty much, but they're health maintenance organizations, or back in the day they were called managed care. Okay. So this is a plan that only allows you to go to a provider that's contracted with that particular care health insurer. Okay. And you can only go to the in-network provider. That provider that's contracted is called in-network. Okay. There aren't any out-of-network benefits, covered benefits. So if you go to a provider that's outside of that contracted network, right, then you will have to pay 100% of the cost because it's not covered by insurance. So HMO, think of it as like think of it as a local cable channel. Got only it. Certain
you can
people
access it in other states.
So if you go to New York or DC, they may not have access to that same,
That's a good way to put it.
Right, station, because it's local. But you do. Right. And you'll get unique features by tuning into that, unique shows by tuning into that channel. Same thing with the HMO providers. There are some people like it because it is very managed care, and that's unique to HMO providers because you have to have a primary care doctor. It has to be, they are called gatekeepers. So they are the gatekeepers to your health care. Okay. So when you go see them, they know your personal health record. They know probably your history because you've probably been with them for a minute. And if you want to go see a specialist, like orthopedic or doctor, or pediatrician or something, podiatrist, not a pediatrician, but a specialist provider, you would have to get what they call a referral from your primary care to go see that specialist, because that specialist, that primary care is managing your care. That's why they call it managed care. Okay. PPO is a non-gatekeeper national network. Okay. So you have in and out of network access. You can go out of network and still get a discounted contracted rate. Okay. You won't pay like 100% out of pocket because there is coverage. Meaning I can go to Connecticut, I can go to New York or Massachusetts, and I can still see care. Now, if I go to a doctor that isn't contracted with my health insurer, that's considered out of network. Right. I'm going to pay a little bit more than I would pay for the in-network provider, but I'm not going to pay as much as I would had that doctor, had I had like a HMO where the out-of-network provider would not be covered at all. Got it. So there's advantages, again, more access means more premium.
Right.
So you're going to pay a little bit more for the PPO plans.
Mm-hmm.
HMO, they have benefits at times and lower costs, but you're limited to a very small network of providers.
Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for that. Now it makes more sense because now once enrollment comes around, I need to make sure what I have.
Yes,
What I have
it
on
is
PPO
they're very
or
rare
HMO.
that they're still being offered. But if you find one and it works for you,
Okay. Well, thanks for educating me.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess this is my last question, right? So basically, what are some of the questions that you feel like people should be asking their providers when signing that dotted line before? Because one of the things about health insurance, it's not one of those things that you go in the middle of the year, you're like, oops, I forgot something. Let me go and get it fixed, right? So this is something that you do once a year. In every year, unless you have like a life-changing event, right? Let's say like a birthday or something like that. That's when you go and change something. So what would you say someone should be asking before they sign that dotted line or submit that, submit that, I guess that purchase in a way?
So asking your insurance carrier or your HR representative, I would ask them what benefits outside of this summary or document that you're showing me is inclusive with this plan. And a lot of times during open enrollment period, open enrollment is a period where is a time once a year where you're allowed to make changes to your benefits,
Right.
Not just health care, but to your benefits.
In general.
Right. And so a lot of times they provide you what we call a benefit summary, which is a highlight, which is a high level overview of the plan details.
Right.
But if you have a specific condition or situation or unique situation, like you're planning to have a child, or maybe you're already pregnant, or maybe you have a child that's sick, or maybe you have an ongoing health issue that needs managing ongoing, and it's not really detailed in that summary, I would really encourage people to ask questions and ask to see a more detailed benefit summary, because they're available. A lot of times they're not given until after you've made your plan choices, and then they'll send you a booklet and the information with the details.
Which most people don't read.
Exactly. But
most people don't read
But
that.
you know what? There are 1-800 numbers
Right.
to call that's connected to each insurance carrier. Your HR representative should know the details of the plan. And if they don't know, I would always, always, always encourage people to call their insurance carrier directly. Is there a benefit hotline? Usually during enrollment time, there's a benefit hotline that's available, or you can, like I said, talk to your HR representative. If not, Google. Like, a lot of good information is on Google if you don't understand preventive care.
Right.
Thanks to number 44, Obamacare. Like, I love him. So, if you don't understand certain things, really ask questions. Talk to other people that's gone through it. Write down your questions and bring them back. Force those people during that period to answer these questions, because like I said, it's you have to pay for it. At the end of the day, it's not a choice. So if I'm going to pay for something, I want to know exactly what I'm getting, and make sure that it's the right fit for me and my family.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on Insurance
thank
Talk.
you for
It was a
having
pleasure
me.
having you. Honestly, I've learned so much today about insurance.
I'm
So
glad.
thank you very much for joining us. I hope we can have you back next time.
Definitely, anytime.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Everyone, we'll be right back. Well, everyone, that is it. I would like to thank Ms. Crystal Kelly for joining us on today's episode of Insurance Talk. I've learned so much about insurance talk today. Health insurance in general. Now I know the difference between HMO and PPO, and I know why I get that extra bill every time I visit the doctor. And I'm sure these are questions that you were asking, but you never really had someone, to give you a better understanding. So basically that is why we started Insurance Talk, so that questions that you have, that other people have, so that we can be able to answer these questions for you. Like I said, always, if you have any state-specific questions, you can always reach out to your local insurance agent or your insurance provider, or you can even call your state insurance department and they will be happy to assist you. And once again, I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. If it's social media, I'm on it. So don't forget to follow me, share these videos. These are information that people should be having out there. So make sure you share the videos with your network. Until next time, thank you for joining us.